Western Mass News is getting answers after viewer concerns have poured into our newsroom over the seemingly increase in high wind events. So we partnered with the experts in the field to find out what's driving them and how to build a better, more resilient future.
Is this our new normal, and does climate change have anything to do with it? Western Mass News meteorologist Lena Jakowski finds out what you need to know to be prepared and protected against the wind.
Why is it so windy all the time?
The big question on many people's minds. With wind headlines constantly popping up in our forecasts, I started digging deeper to get you answers. While March and April are our windiest months of the year, wind is not observed as closely as you might think.
We report kind of an average for the month, but there's really no records on what's normal. So it's tough to kind of categorize it that way.
My hypothesis, heat is energy, and storms are Earth's way of redistributing energy imbalances. The more we throw that balance off, storms are not only becoming more frequent, but also potentially more intense. The tighter the pressure gradient, the stronger the winds.
So is climate change to blame, or at least part of the problem? I took your questions and the First Warning Weather Team's ideas straight to top experts at the National Weather Service and researching institutions in the U.S. to find out.
I do think your theory, is climate change fitting into it? I would say, yeah. First of all, it's warmer. We know that. It's warming at the ground. It's still cold aloft, so that's going to mix a lot of the wind down. But then to your point, Lena, about the strength of our coastal lows, for example, yeah. We have stronger low pressure systems over the water. We have, in some cases, stronger high pressure to our north. And it's that difference in pressure that creates the wind.
It's not just wind speed that matters.
Our vegetation is more acclimated for northwest winds or west winds. If we get a southeast winds, it's a whole other story. And we saw that with Isaias last summer. We saw that way back with Tropical Storm Irene in 2011. So the damage can be magnified based upon certain wind directions.
While those big events are heavily monitored, day-to-day wind may be something we want to keep a closer eye on moving forward. Dr. Frank Lombardo, an engineer at the University of Illinois, is taking on the challenge.
When you design a structure, you design for a number of different environmental loads, one of those being wind. It led me down the path of kind of, trying to understand the climate projections that were coming out, and then how we can link those to engineering design, which turns out is pretty challenging.
He's working on creating an extreme wind climatology that will make the way we build structures safer.
The question is, was it enhanced by climate change? That's a tough question to ask, but I think it's one that we need to answer.
Wind exploits weaknesses, so a good starting point is learning from what failed. According to Lombardo, the most common point of failure is garage doors.
If the garage door fails, for example, or lets too much air in, basically you pressurize the inside of the garage, you can blow the roof off, in addition to the wind from the outside.
So how do you protect yourself and your property while the science catches up? Garage doors rated for high wind events are a simple retrofit that can avoid garage door failure escalating to more significant damage. Something we see a lot here in Western Mass is tree damage. So removing problematic trees prevents damage before it occurs. But ultimately, future building codes and guidelines for loading of structures will soon be changing to include designs built to withstand tornado loading.
For the most part here in the Pioneer Valley, wind events are covered under your homeowner's insurance.
And for those who rent rather than own,
renter's insurance is good for the renter, for the tenant. It protects their personal belongings. If there's a wind event that damages the property that they live at, then it would be the owner's property insurance that would cover the damage to the property.
For Western Mass News, I'm First Warning meteorologist Lena Jakowski.